we're getting started, if you guys happen to have a block, there's going to be some places where I'm going to add that in as some strength option stuff. But I'll also tend to do a different pose beforehand that's similar to it without a block. So you can choose, like, based on what you have. Like, if a book works for today, that's fine. If it works better just to not use anything, that's fine. Just do whatever you have. So let's go ahead and make our way all the way down to laying on our back. We're taking a few good deep breaths in and out to connect with our intention and to help get our body set up for this practice. Since we have some options with a block today, what I was thinking of with our intention is this idea that we can utilize all of our support in order to make it so that we can find our inner strength. Just kind of using that as our theme for today, support. So this is, when things get hard, do we try to just do everything on our own, or do we reach out for those that want to help us? The people that would help us, and all we have to do is just ask for it. So reaching out for that kind of support. It's the uplifting support, things like if somebody just had a baby, it's really helpful to not have to cook meals for a while, that kind of support, or emotional support that just lifts you up a little bit better. So that's the kind of support that we're thinking of. And so in the back of our mind, we're setting that idea so that we can listen to our intuition today, asking whether we can be a support to somebody specific today, or asking whether we need to reach out for support today. So whatever the site is, we're letting that idea rest in the back of our mind as we travel through our Yogilates strengthening stuff today. And so with that idea to help us get started, let's begin. Let's start to bend our knees, taking them all the way into the chest. And as we're rocking around a little bit left and right, we're using this as a gentle opportunity to check in with how the hips and the low back are doing. Just nice and kind. Now know that in Yogilates, we always, as we're doing the strengthening stuff, we always flatten our low back to the ground. So that way our low back doesn't become aggravated by the exercises. If we let it arch, for instance, as our legs go up and down from this laying on the back position, up and down, if we let it arch, that has this tendency to aggravate the low back. And so feel what it takes to flatten the low back onto the ground. Even set the feet onto the ground for a moment, and then feel what it takes. So we're tucking the tailbone under, scooping it under a little bit, and it takes a little bit of a core tightness to make that low back flat on the ground. And then completely relax that, even purposely arching the low back. And then once again, round, feel the contraction through the core, the abdominal muscles, and then the relax and the purposeful arch just to rest at this moment. And so find that flat low back again, contract, and then this is the place that we're going to work from. This flat back on the ground, that contracted core. Now, normally in our daily life, our core is just loose. We don't really use it to go throughout our day, minus what's necessary. But here we're purposely putting a slight contraction. So from there, let's add in some leg stuff so that we can feel what it takes to have that low back flat. So legs begin to reach up to the sky. From here, we're not going to do a huge movement. Just lower the legs down slightly. Feel the low back still flat on the ground, and then raise it back up to be right above the hips. Just repeating that a few times. A nice inhale. And then exhale to return back up. So that core contracted. And notice that you can bend the knees to make this easier, or try to straighten the legs to make it harder. You've got that whole range of possibilities available for us. So with this small little motion that's going on, we're starting to feel the hip flexors start to work for us a little bit. Let's go for 10 more cycles. Exhale, 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Bend the knees, plant the feet back down right by the glutes. And from here, we take a few bridge poses. So hands are on the ground. Roll the tailbone up, lifting up one vertebrae at a time. And exhale to come back down. This one's helping us undulate through that whole spine. So feel it as if it literally is just one at a time rolling up and rolling down. It's like our spine is a bead of pearls. And when you pull on one pearl, it naturally affects the next one to help it just slowly come up to this nice, tall, aligned position, and then rolling back down to flat on the ground. Let's take 5 more. 5. Just follow that speed of the breath, even if you're faster or slower than me. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. From here, straighten the legs back up to the sky. This time, rather than lowering down, what we're going to try to do is bring the legs closer to our torso, and then the relaxed spot is directly up above the hips. Again, you can be bent to make it a little bit easier. Straighter is slightly harder. Our hands on the floor can be a little oomph that helps us to lift the hips up a little bit. And so from that positioning, let's begin. Exhale, this one brings the thighs closer to the chest. Inhale, relax back upright. Exhale, inhale. Really feel the contraction of the core shortening the distance, helping to bring it just all inward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bending the knees, plant the feet back down. This is a spot where if you have that block, we're going to grab it, place the block at the low height, or a stack of books, whatever you have. Place it at the low height under the feet. And then we're going to take some bridge poses with that slight elevation. This makes us lift up and beyond where we were going before. Now you'll have to play with what spot the feet fall onto best with that block. So some days I'm closer to the heels and I can feel that lift. A lot of times it's more comfortable to be on the balls of the feet to use that to help lift. So you can play around with the right placement and make sure that the block's not too close and not too far. It's just at that good spot where you feel like you have the leverage. Hands are resting back onto the ground. And so from here, let's try to take 10 with this extra lift. So rising up, feel that support. Feel how interesting it is to go higher and then roll back down. Nice inhale, 9. Exhale down. Feel that breath flowing through your body. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. As we lower down, we can scoot the block off to the side. From here, just lengthen this left leg to the ground and right leg goes back up to the sky. This time just hold for a moment, stretching through the hamstring. Trying to get the leg straighter and straighter. If you get it straight, then begin to pull it closer and closer to your body. And feel how the low back is right now. With those lifts, it does use the muscles of the low back. So if there's any irritation in that back right now, the strengthening can actually help to make sure that the muscles are strong in the back itself. Sometimes pain in the low back comes from the muscles that are bigger being bullies on it. So the glutes are bigger than the back muscles. The hamstrings are bigger and they're stronger. And so sometimes when those get tight, they start to pull on that low back. So we use that strengthening to help us to build the back strength so that those are becoming more strong. But then we take chances like this to lengthen out some of those bullies to make sure that everything else is going flexible and long. So now if you're able to, try to walk the hands higher up the leg, even trying to bring the forehead closer to the knee. Feel that length going even more through that leg, continuously trying to straighten the leg out more. Great. From here, either keep the head lifted as we do leg switches, or if you need to return it back down, that's okay. We're hovering the left leg, and we're exhale, switching to the other side. Let's repeat that 10 times. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave this left leg up, relax the head down. We're working to spend about that equal amount of time on this left leg stretching. This brings us into a good amount of balance. So here, just enjoy, really be with the length. Oftentimes if I'm doing if I'm thinking about too much, if I'm thinking about my to-do list, if I'm thinking about all the things that I have to, that are going wrong lately, all those types of things, then I'm not really with the stretch. And I start to realize, I actually don't really feel it much at all. So let's be with this leg. We're straightening it. And then if we still don't feel it as much as we want to, start to pull it a little bit closer. It takes some time for those muscles to want to lengthen out. So be patient through that gentle traveling inward. Lots of breathing going on. And let's begin to walk our hands up this side. Maybe we're trying to pull the knee in all the way to the forehead. From here, we're either doing the same option with the hands on the top leg as we do the leg switches, or to make it harder, hands are welcome to hover alongside each of the left and the right parts of our body. Floating this right leg to hover above the ground, we're doing our leg switches. So exhale, switch, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bending the knees, set the head back down. From here, legs straighten back up to the sky. Feel that light engagement at the core. Hands right down by the ground. And from here, we're combining the two movements that we were working on earlier. The legs lower down just a little bit, and then raising back up, they come closer to the torso just a little bit. So almost like a little pendulum. Trying to spend some time away from the body and some time closer to the body. And feel how it's very different parts of the core that are used to create each of those. When the legs are coming closer, for that part, I'm pushing my hands into the ground to help the legs come closer. And so I'm feeling a little bit more effort through the upper body. When I'm lowering down, it's definitely these low abdominal muscles that I'm feeling. So just keep on going. We're repeating a few more times. It's okay if the hips lift off the ground a little bit when you're coming toward you. Your preference, you don't have to do that. Good, let's go 10. Exhale, 9. 8. It's getting hard, try to just bend the knees. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Bending the knees. We're going to another round of bridge pose. With this one, if you have a normal block, you're going to bring it up to the medium height. Try to find a way to balance your feet onto it. Maybe that the balls of the feet or slightly behind that spot. Just find that spot where you can balance. If you don't have a block, if you're using the same stack of books, that's fine, or even just repeating normal bridge pose again. Any of these options are fine based on what you have. Hands on the floor next to our hips, and then we're gonna roll up. Feel that extra height there, and then all the way back down. If the block was in a bad spot, just take a moment to readjust, and then repeating 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relaxing back down. Let's leave our left foot up on the block. The right leg straightens up to the sky. Just give it 2 or 3 breaths with the hamstring stretch again. And then we're taking the right ankle, swiveling it to step onto this left thigh. The right knee's open up to the side. And then hands, if you can thread around that left side, it's welcome to. Otherwise, you can just leave that foot on the block. Sometimes that extra height of the block is about all the hip can take. You're welcome to push the right hand onto that knee to help it open. So whatever version helps the hip to get a chance to open. You can even fill this into those glute muscles. So if that's one of the culprits, you might be feeling that going right now. As we start to release, we drop the right foot down. Left leg has that brief chance with the hamstring again. Take the left ankle up onto right thigh, and then either just push on this knee or thread around the right side, helping it to open. Enjoy another beautiful breath in. And exhale, release the hands. From here, we're going to try, if you have a physical block, to bump it up now to the tallest height. If you don't, that's okay. Just do whatever you've been doing before with a smaller stack or just with the floor. And since those of us that have a full block, since the tallest height has the least stability in the block, we're gonna go extra slow for these 10. So if you don't have the block, really try to just feel every single muscle group that has to contract to help you lift up to bridge pose. So the slow motion scooping up. If you have that block, try to put a little bit of weight into it for a moment to test where the block placement should be. And then when it feels like it'll probably be okay, drop your hands down to the ground. Slow motion. Inhale, rolling up. Here's 10. Try to lift super high with the hips. And then slowly lower down. Going for 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Scoot the block off to the side. We're taking a little twist. The knees are gonna fall over to the left as the arms spread open to a figure T on the ground. So let's gently pull some of the muscles of that low back into the twist. And just notice where your body is tightest is where you're going to feel this. So some people it's on the outside of the hip. Some people it's through the low back. And some people it's even through the shoulder, trying to open that onto the ground. So just notice, what is my body's, in a way, weak link. Not to say that we have to push too far through the weak link, but just to say that that's maybe the spot that needs the extra attention with these gentle stretches. Gently let the knees rise up, and then they begin to fall over to the twist on the other side. And just notice how different it was to have that extra support with the block. Just kind of tuning in. It makes the experience very different. As we're working on strength, to have the support helps us tremendously to get that little bit of extra distance. Beautiful. From here, the knees come back up, and then we're going to lean over onto our side body. I'm on my left side body, so if you just note if you're on the right, that you're just going to switch left and right, or you can turn around so that you're the same side as me. And from here, on our side body, we're going to have our left elbow directly under our shoulder. The other hand can be on the floor or on the hip. The hip is going to be the harder version. What we're doing is lifting our hips up to just hold in an elbow side plank. So when you're ready, lift the hips up. Maybe the hand comes up to the hip, and we breathe for a little while. We're going to try to hold for about a minute. Keep on breathing in and out. We're more than halfway there. Keep on breathing. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Gently relax down, even lowering all the way onto those side ribs, letting the head be supported by that hand. And from here, our legs come slightly in from where the torso is. It's more like the shape of a banana. What we're going to do is lift the top leg up, level with the hip, and we're going to slow motion swing the leg forward and then swing the leg back. Now, we're using the core to try to have very minimal movement through the upper body. And so if you're wanting to go for a little challenge, and this is really hard to do it this way, but the challenge would be to balance a block on the top hip and to try to not get the block to fall off as we're moving. Try to keep it nice and level and as stable as possible the whole time. It's really hard. You might lose your block. That's okay. Just try the best that you can. Adding in a pointing and flexing of the foot, we're going to point the toes when the leg slowly swings forward. Flex the foot as it goes all the way back, even behind us a little bit. Good. Repeating. Oops. I've already lost mine. 9. And back. 8. And back. 7. And back. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good work. From here, pivot yourself all the way around onto your belly, and you're going to place your block, if you have it, in between your feet. As we're laying on our belly, you can widen your elbows out to the sides and place the hands into just a nice little triangle shape. And so from here, it's not quite as high up as a Sphinx pose, but we've got a little bit of elevation. And feel your belly lifting away from the ground rather than just resting all of your ribs onto it. So we feel that gentle little lift of the core. From here, that block is placed in between the heels. So if you don't have it there, readjust. And while the heels are squeezing into the block, we're going to gently lift the legs up and down. Repeat. 9. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend the knees in, grabbing onto the block. We're now sending the block into the upper arms, reaching them up above us, kind of like a superwoman. And so from here, now the legs are heavy, they're very grounded, and then 10 times we're going to keep the arms straight as we lift the block up and down. It's okay if it's just a matter of inches. So when you're ready, here's 10. Nice inhale up, exhale down. 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Block off to the side. Take a moment to press up and back into a nice child pose. Feel the back rest. Feel the spine lengthen and just enjoy this release. We do want the forehead to be resting onto the ground, so if you can't quite make it there, grab that block so that the head can just rest. We're finding a nice, comfortable release here. from here, we're going to come back down onto our back. I'm going to switch the side that I'm laying on my mat so that the next time I roll over, I'm still facing toward the screen. So if you, I don't know how your mat's arranged, but if you need to flip around that way to make it make sense, that's fine. Otherwise, second side, you're just going to roll over to that right side instead. So we're doing a couple of little challenges now with our block while we're on our back before we switch to that second side for all that leg stuff we were just doing. So the first little challenge, we're taking our block into our feet. We start off, when our block is by our feet and they're lifted up, our hands will also be lifted up because we're going to be switching the block back and forth between hands and feet. So from here, after I've made a switch, so now I just switched to the legs. Now the arms reach up overhead as the legs lower down. And you do have to listen to your low back to see how far you can lower down. So some people are going to be about a 45-degree angle. Some people maybe not quite that much. So you'll have to listen. How low can you go without low back lifting? So arms back up overhead. Exhale, we reach up, set the block into the hands. And then with the block in the hands, we lower that part way down again. So we're going to switch back and forth. And let's do 5 complete rounds after this next switch. So with the feet, we're in 5. Keep on breathing. 5. You can always bend the knees to make it a little bit easier. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. And 1. Good. Take a moment to drop the feet down and slide the block under the hips. You choose the height. This is just a simple resting pose, specifically to help that low back feel really good. Just lifting up to that good, comfortable position. Lift the hips up to remove the block. And then we place the block here onto our left thigh, and it's held up with our left elbow. So this side, the whole time, this is all it does, but rather than just letting the block barely balance, we're pushing into it. So you'll feel the side waist on that left side immediately under the block. You'll feel that activated when you push. So while left side is pushing, right side, we reach the arm up overhead, the leg extends out. Exhale, bring elbow and knee to try to touch. Repeating 9. Exhale, touch. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Are you still pushing into the block? 1. Good. Switch right away. Block onto the right side. Push into the block right away. And then left leg and arm extend away. And then elbow and knee touch. 9. Push into the block. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. From this point, we can roll over to our side body. We're bringing the elbow right under the shoulder. The legs are set up long in a straight line for that side elbow plank. So when you're ready, we're going to try to go a minute. If you have to take breaks, that's okay. Try to come back into it when you can. Take a good inhale. Exhale, lift, and we're here. Keep on breathing. Feel how in this situation, it's the shoulder that's the support. In that case, it's almost like we're the one lending the aid elsewhere. By this point, does the second hand want to come up to the hip or float? We're halfway there. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing work. Lower that elbow, sliding it out so that the hand can support the head. The legs swivel in like the shape of a banana. And this is the one where we have that little challenge. If you have the block, see what you can do about balancing the hip on the block. The top hand, for me, it's the left one on this side, comes down in front of me, not to just kind of be there, but so that I can have something to push against. So I've got so much more effort and contraction going on to keep the top of my body stable. Lift this left leg up to be level with the hip. And when you're ready, let's do the feet the opposite this time. So this time we're going to flex the foot as we slowly come forward, point, and slowly swing back. Can you follow a slow breath with that? Exhale. Inhale. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Resting down. We can scoot the block away. We're rolling back down onto our bellies. So from this shape, what we're doing this time without the block, the toes are tracing the shape of a diamond. We've got that same position with our upper body. The fingers can kind of just form into a nice little triangle shape, pressing down right here. The elbows are a little bit wider, so they're about as wide as the mat rather than under the shoulders, so that we've got a little bit more muscle effort that we can do through the pectoralis muscles to keep our upper body controlled. Engage the core, so low back, the low belly is lifted gently off the ground. And from here, our toes trace a diamond. So they touch together at the bottom, they go wide, and then touch together at the top, go wide and touch together at the bottom. And just repeat that shape of a diamond. Here's 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. From here, arms open out to the sides like a figure T. We rest one of our cheeks all the way down onto the ground. With any inhale, we lift arms and legs like we're flying in an airplane. And with the exhale, we switch our other cheek to be the one resting down when we come down. We're gonna go for 10. So when you're ready, inhale up and rest down other side. 9. Try to lift higher and down. 8. 7. 6, 5, 4, 3. Try to go even higher the last 2. And 1. Good. Take an extra breath or 2 just to rest here. Slide the hands under the shoulders. We're pressing up, shifting back. Weight of the glutes on the heels. Again, just enjoy that child pose, that good stretch all the way up the back. Come up onto hands and knees. From here, take just a moment with plank position. Float the right heel up. Bring the right knee to the nose and back. 4, 3, 2. The last one. Try to step it forward. Drop the back knee down. And we're resting forward. Hips getting a good stretch. Hips shift back, the front leg goes straight, and then take this chance to stretch through the hamstring. Good, swing the right leg back, setting up for the plank. This time left heel lifts, bring knee to nose, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it through. Drop the back knee down. Rest hips forward for the stretch. Front leg goes straight. Enjoy that hamstring moment. Beautiful. As we start to swing it back, we're coming to sit down onto our glutes, grabbing the block. Let's take a moment with boat pose. We grab onto the block, again if we have it, if not, you're making a fist, just touching it down to one side and then the other. With the block, we touch it down. If you're gripping up high, it makes it easier because it's not very hard to touch down. If you want to make it harder, you slide your hands down the block to touch down. So it'll be an inhale up to the top, exhale touch to one side, inhale, exhale touch to the other side. That would be 1 round, coming back to the beginning. And then we're going for 10 rounds total in boat pose. So try to lift the knees up. If that's not working, you can have the feet down and just do the torso instead. So when you're ready, grip up, touching down, exhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Block can set back down. Take a cobbler's pose. We start off with the feet close to us. If you have this ability to tilt forward without the spine rounding back, take that version. Occasionally people, in order to feel the best hip opener, they need to have hands behind and just straighten their spine up tall so the hips can just spiral open as much as possible. Whichever version, we're enjoying several really good breaths. Lift the spine up enough that we can turn this into star pose. The toes slide quite a bit further away. They're about 2 feet away if you have that length available. With this one, we straighten the spine upright, and then that straight spine starts to get pulled forward. When it can't stay straight anymore, just start to round and relax. I, in this one, love to purposely let my head be heavy, completely relaxing and being weighed down. When I do that, I can feel all the vertebrae in my back getting pulled long, and especially I feel this down into that low back. The more I release the weight of my head down, the more I feel the low back stretch. Just enjoy this chance to be heavy with our body, less effortful than we've been the rest of the class. Keeping both sitting bones completely down onto the ground. We're walking our hands past the feet if we can reach that far, and then start to walk the hands all the way over to the left side until our torso is at that same angle as the left thigh. So reaching long up to that side. Again, both sitting bones need to be down, otherwise we've completely taken the stretch out. Relax the head down, maybe the forehead can touch that knee. And just enjoy this stretch through the right part of the low back. For the last couple of breaths, here the right hand returns to the right knee, helping to push it open. Just enjoy that slight variation, helping that low back to open up even more. We've got 3 more delicious breaths, deep and full into the belly. Bring the right hand back to the ground. Start to walk out long in front of us. And then walking the fingertips long over the right thigh angle. And just enjoy the head releasing down, trying to touch that knee. Perhaps the left hand comes to the left knee, helping to push it open for the last couple of breaths. Walking that left arm straight. 3 good breaths into the belly. And back out. Begin to walk the hands back forward and then gently walk the hands back in, being very kind to that low back after such a deep opener. Slide the feet in to a simple cross-leg shape. And I've got one last exercise I'd like us to do with a block before we wrap up today. So grabbing the block, we're pushing we're bringing the elbows wide so that we can push our forearms directly into the block. If you don't have the block, you're going to have to just mimic this by bringing fists and pushing them firmly into one another. You start to feel the shoulders and the pecs all contract as you're pushing. So from that firm push, we're starting off with the belly, with the block in front of the belly. That's our low height. And then slowly, while pushing into the block, we bring the block up to our high height. Some of us have the range of motion that we can just come up to forehead. Some of us can go all the way above the head. And And then slowly, while pushing, go all the way back down, block in front of the belly. Pushing just as firmly. We're traveling up. 4. And down, keep on breathing. 3. 2. This last one, stay with the block right above the head. A few extra breaths, pushing when you get there. Push firmer, firmer, as hard as you can at this moment. And then drop the block in front of the belly. We've got 3 last breaths to push as hard as we possibly can. Good. After that 3rd breath, block can finally just be settled down. Let's open up both our arms behind us. Swing the right arm across the body. Left arm hooks around it to pull it in for a nice shoulder stretch. Maybe head even tilts over to the left side so you get that extra good right shoulder stretch. Opening back up wide. And then left arm crosses all the way over. Maybe head drops to the right this time. Good. Inhale back up. And here we're ready to lower all the way down onto our backs. Kind of move nice and slowly. Rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. As we're here, if your low back needs just a little bit of kindness, you're going to keep the feet planted, spreading them as wide as the mat, and then start to knock the knees inward toward one another, so 0 muscular effort is required. The benefit of doing a pose that way is that our low back naturally flattens to the ground, making sure that low back is not needing to arch and stretch more than it has to right at this moment. So from this placement, we've got a few minutes just to breathe and relax in our Shavasana. All we need to do is keep the breath flowing through the body. Really good inhales. Long exhales. Begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out in a way that feels really good. Until you're ready to roll over to a nice fetal position on one side. Take a few more breaths, just a nice bonus. After all the work we did, we get to relax right here, right now. Being present with the body. Preparing our body for the rest of the day to come, but no rush. Eventually pressing our way up to a comfortable seated place. And we join our hands together in front of the heart. Thinking to ourselves, have I gained any insight through this class about how I can be a better support to somebody else today? Have I gained any insight about how I can ask for better support today? With this support, we felt it throughout class how much extra strength we were able to build in our body because of it. Without that block today, the exercises wouldn't have been quite so challenging. So with that extra support to help us metaphorically become stronger in our life, we allow ourselves to wrap up this beautiful time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Inhaling together now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.